going on, Jerome? Beautiful Thursday. Birds are chirping and stuff, and it's time for another Vikings news dump. So, of course, the story from yesterday is the whole J.J. McCarthy surgery, not surgery, injected. Yeah, those breaking news graphics are getting out of hand, man. But initially when I saw it, I thought it said infected, which, knocking on all the wood, don't you put that evil on me, Ricky Bobby, because that's the number one concern after surgeries, right, is infection. It's just no bueno. But apparently J.J. McCarthy is going to be good to go. Oh, that was me moving my keyboard, by the way. That was not flatulence. I can't make it happen again. Anyways, but Gessling had very good clarity on it because the initial reports were calling it a second surgery, and that's why everyone was freaking out, but it was not, right? To be clear, Gessling, Strib. To be clear, Souse said it was just an injection for McCarthy, no second surgery. A little more context on J.J. McCarthy's procedure at the end of the day. The biologic or platelet-rich plasma, PRP, injection he received at TCO Performance Center Bar and Grill in Eagan to reduce swelling in his knee came after an exploratory procedure to confirm there was no larger issue. Once they did that, he received the injection to reduce swelling. So, I mean, swelling when you come back from any sort of surgery, I mean, it's pretty common. It's not that big of an issue. So they did have a little peek. They did have a little see what's going on there. They gave him the injection, blah, blah. I just wanted to add those details. He technically did have a procedure, but the injection, not any surgery, was the remedy to the problem. This is probably common sense to anyone who's had this procedure done, but thought I'd add to give as a full picture of the situation as I could. Main thing is his recovery and timetable remain on course. Now, I've had meniscus surgery before, but it wasn't the full repair. It was just the trim. And they do follow-ups like this, but I didn't get the PRP. I was just like, I'm fine, sort of deal. But of course, J.J. McCarthy is the future franchise of the Vikings, and it's been reported 17,000 times that this should not impact his return timeline, which should be in the early part of 2025. It should be good to go for all off-season workouts as well as mini camps, OTAs, and all that stuff. So, false alarm. People are up in arms, man. Just like, oh, here we go again. Speaking of injuries, so injury report for the Vikings and Tennessee Titans came out on Wednesday, first day of practice ahead of their Sunday game in Nashville. For the Titans, so a fistful of players, DNP, Arden Key, a former LSU Tiger, Tony Pollard, and Jeffrey Simmons, both got Veterans Day. They'll be fine. Leroy Watson tackled DNP'd with a back, but noteworthy is the two cornerbacks. So Roger McCreary in the slot, DNP with a knee. L'Jarius Sneed, who's missed the last couple of games with a quad issue, also a DNP. So that could be yum time for Justin Jefferson and company there. And with L'Jarius Sneed, it's important to note. So, L'Jarius Sneed, who apparently can take off his helmet whenever he wants and not get a penalty. But Paul Kuharski, the czar of Tennessee sports, L'Jarius Sneed gets $40K per game active in Rooster bonuses. So he's lost $160K missing the last 4 games. Said he's not done anything on grass in rehab for quad yet. I feel like if I had a quad injury, I would be on a lot of grass. So odds are high. He's not playing versus the Vikings and will lose another $40K. Good. Where, I mean, if the Vikings can't put up points with L'Jarius Sneed out and maybe even Roger McCreary in the slot out, I mean, just cancel the team. Just move us to the CFL and go from there. For the Vikings, a handful of players were limited. Sam Darnold, so you saw him on the sideline. I think it was after the third pick. Just sort of squeezing and working that grip. Maybe he hit on a helmet or something, but should be good to go. Aaron Jones with the rib/chest issue limited. Gabe Murphy, as he looks to come back for his 21-day practice window. Josh Oliver, as they've been giving him off days throughout the last couple of weeks. Robinson popped up with a foot issue limited, but we'll be fine. And then Van Ginkel, now listed with a hip, but of course he's been given rest days throughout the season. It's important to note that Cashman and Pace were both listed as full participants with elbow and knee respectively. Is it elbow now with Cashman? But at least it's not the toe. All right, so that was the main concern coming back from that. And speaking of Jones and Cam Robinson, Kevin O'Connell, who I feel like he's dressed like Jon Snow. Also, what happened to my gorgeous hat model, man? I feel like this is a breach of contract because he wasn't wearing a hat at his Monday presser either. But Gessling strip again. Kevin O'Connell said Aaron Jones will probably limited today, but will progress as the week goes on. Cam Robinson will be limited with a foot issue, but O'Connell said everything checked out. He'll probably also increase his workload throughout the week, so should be good to go for the two Vikings veterans there. It's also good to go. So Darnold's been a lot of fun. Also, he's been super frustrating, man. He has definitely been a high variance. He's been, I don't know, like Baker Mayfield adjacent, like maybe the Ginger Jameis, which is a comparison that people didn't like. Yeah. But Purple Persuasion puts it succinctly. A tale of Vikings quarterback Sam Darnold. Big time throw percentage, good, 5.3%, seventh in the league out of 38 qualifying quarterbacks. Turnover worthy plays percentage, bad, 4.3%. So basically, one time in 20, he's just serving up a meatball. But also one time in 20, he's going downtown Julie Brown, man. Also tied for seventh worst among 38 qualifying quarterbacks. Big time throws a pass with excellent ball location and timing, generally thrown further down the field and or in a tighter window, so he does that. Also turnover worthy plays. A pass has a high percentage chance to be intercepted or a poor job of taking care of the ball and fumbling, so he's also done that too. And I feel like it's sort of live by the sword, die by the sword. Like he's basically a higher paid Nick Mullins, but the good is better than Mullins, but the bad is about the same as Mullins, right? So Darnold just has to dial things in and just take what's there, right? Stop trying to force things downfield to Justin Jefferson, especially if they're sitting in a cover two shell and they're not going to give up the big play no matter what. Just take what's there, man. Like there's many weaknesses in split safeties, cover two, so just get after that. Yeah. Next. This is perfect poetic justice, right? So they brought in Sam Darnold as a free agent to replace Kirk Cousins, who Steve Miller Band, who took the money and ran down to Hotlanta, the Tin Pot Waffle House dictator. But in terms of, so the Falcons have played 10 games, the Vikings played 9 games, but completion percentage is pretty close. Kurt has a slight advantage in passing yards because, like we said, extra game. Darnold has slightly better average per attempt. 17 touchdowns, same. 10 to 8 touchdowns or interceptions, roughly the same. Quarterback rating 99.2 to 98.9. So it should be the Spider-Man pointing meme. But of course, Kurt with a contract that's about 4.5 times, what Darnold is earning. Yeah, so sort of is what it is. But it's kind of funny. But yeah, JJ McCarthy is obviously the future, but it's really hilarious how this thing worked out. I want to see it at the end of the season where it's just like so tight. Just like the same across the board, which would hilariously be funny to me. Also, something that's not funny is the importance of Blake Cashman outside. How about that to this defense? And I still stand on business. If Cashman was healthy for the Lions in the Rams game, Vikings are 9-0 pretty easily. But Vikings Communications, Black Hay is one of 4 players in the NFL and one of just 2 linebackers, Brian Burns the other, with at least 45 tackles, 5 passes defensed, 2.0 sacks. I assume the other 2 are safeties. Cashman has played in 6 games, while the other 4 players have seen action in 10. Oh, so that's a minor detail. Cashman, 45 tackles, 5 passes defended, 2 sacks. Well, just said that. Yeah, but also, since Burns is an edge rusher, this stands out because Cashman is an off-ball, and just the leadership, the calling stunts and games up front. 5-1 is very, very important in the middle of the Vikings defense, man. So glad that he's healthy and glad that toe ain't an issue no mo, but the elbow's fine. Yeah, anyway. Something that's also, so you ever just come across something that just makes you smile? When I see you smile. So Chris Thomason, he doesn't make me smile, but I sort of miss Thomason and his just blunt, socially inept questions that have to be asked all the time. That's great. But Thomason's a beat writer for one of the Denver papers now. But it said this. So after the Broncos' very narrow loss to the Kansas City Chiefs, stupid ass Sean Payton said he showed team today a film about some of his tough losses, including Minneapolis Miracle. Douche. 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 any excuse to play the clip. All right, because huge asterisk by that alleged Super Bowl win because of Bountygate and everything bad that happens in football, Sean Payton deserves. That's it. That's all. Something I also deserve. So the wife wants a new couch for downstairs, although we just got a new one like 3. Doesn't matter. But Diamond Dallas Turner, the rookie first-round pick from Alabama, posted on the gram, little advert, Schneiderman's Furniture. Now, I never understand like celebrity or influencer advertising like this. So yeah, Turner, picture in front of the building. It's great. It's beautiful. Awesome. Also, get down with a couch. Thank you for the Bluetooth speaker couch and watching Top Gun Maverick. It's kind of awesome. Like these couches are pretty great. Now, to a degree, I kind of worry about what's all this Bluetooth in the air doing to our brains, but I don't know. At least we don't have cords. Yeah. But this has to be pretty good. Also, this couch, does it just have like a speaker, or does this thing have a subwoofer? Because could you imagine watching a movie like Top Gun Maverick and you got a giant subwoofer in the frickin' couch? You're just like, I can feel the vibrations. Be great. Be fantastic, man. But get back to I understand celebrity or influencer marketing like this, because if I'm gonna buy a couch, I'm just gonna comparison shop and get the best price for the quality that I want. But I don't know how many people go like, hey, Dallas Turner is standing in front of a Schneiderman's, I'm gonna go to Schneiderman's versus I don't know the other furniture stores. I don't know, but either way, this is pretty good. I hope Turner got a free couch out of this, or a little bit of cash. So we're good to go there. Also good to go. So yesterday was the 2-year anniversary of one of the greatest Vikings games I've ever seen. Now, obviously, this wasn't like the comeback, but this kind of was a comeback. The Vikings were sort of behind the 8 ball, but then Dalvin Cook, busted a 61-yard run to really get things going. Vikings clawed their way back in against the Buffalo Bills. Jefferson had the absolutely insane circus catch, which, what's even crazier? Stephon Diggs in this game had a catch that was bat bleep insane. Probably, you could say it was a top 30 catch all time pretty easily. Like, it was really, really good. No one remembers it at all because of this. Because of Justin Jefferson, which is hilarious, man. But this game was insane. Not only Kurt coming up short on 4th down on the goal line, Josh Allen fumbling the snap on the quarterback sneak down at the half-yard line trying to get some room. Kendricks gets that touchdown there. The Bills, stupid ass Bills, drive down. Gabe Davis was out of bounds, by the way. But God forbid they run a replay inside of 2 minutes because he didn't have possession. Inbounds, he didn't get both feet down, but other than that, it was a really good catch. Like, this should not have had to go to overtime. The Vikings should have won it in regulation, but I digress. Just an absolute great win for the Vikings, and against a tough opponent in a tough environment, right? So it was a really good game, really, really damn fantastic. Patrick Peterson closing this thing out. It was good either way. Lastly, so this is not an ad. Although I will take a free T-shirt, breaking tea, but I always admire how quick like some of these companies can turn things around, because they're shipping out these T-shirts this week. The Cam Beasy and also the official NFLPA logo. So they get better graphics, as well as Beasy gets a little bit of cash as well. So that's good, man. Now, except in like 30 years, people aren't going to remember the breakdancing later, right? But so this is just going to look like a Thriller T-shirt. Right, because you ever have your dads? Do you ever see like the shirts that your dad used to wear all the time, like the T-shirts that he'd wear on Saturdays when he's doing lawn work or drinking beer with his buddies? It's just like these threadbare T-shirts from way back in the day, like Van Halen's Victory Tour, and it's like this thing has gone through the wash 17,000 times, and the threads are just holding on. Like, oh, it's gonna be this shirt. Because it's high quality, high caliber. Again, not an ad. I'm just gussing things up. Send me a shirt. Yeah. But in 30 years, like my God, I hope not grandkids. 35, 40 years, actually no. All right, 30 years, my grandkids will be, They won't be old enough. Doesn't matter. Anyways, in a number of decades from now, my grandkids will be going through my drawers in my closet and looking at this T-shirt and be like, oh, it's Thriller. It's not Ray Gun. It's Thriller. Actually, who knows? Maybe Ray Gun has some staying power. I don't know. But can't wait to see what BZ has planned next. But that is it. Vikings news up on this beautiful, wondrous Thursday. You guys are the best. You know what to do. Skol, production value.